Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mansa Queen. If this is your first time here, you were absolutely welcome. Consider joining the Mansa family. I'll be happy to have you here. To my returning subscribers, I love you all so much. Today's recipe is going to be an air fryer recipe. Yes, I've been trying to include my Fit Fam subscribers, yes, my Fit Fam people, or just if you're trying to cut down on that extra oil, invest in an air fryer. I so love an air fryer. I've been loving mine. I've had it for a little over a year now, or maybe almost a year now, and I'm loving it. I use it almost 2 to 3 times a week for dinner. Loving it. So today's recipe is going to be chicken empanadas. Yes, chicken pies. So I am using the recipe that came with my air fryer manual. Yes, the air fryer itself came with a recipe book, and I'm using the recipe there to create my own chicken pie today. I already have a video for a meat pie. If you've not seen it, I'll put it somewhere on the screen so you guys can check it out. But yes, today I'm going to make chicken pie, and I'll be using the recipe on the air fryer. If you are part of the Fit Fam or you just like a healthier choice in your food, then this video is definitely for you. You want to keep on watching, and let's get cooking. Alright guys, so this is the air fryer that I have. It is the Power XL Vortex air fryer. By the way, this video is not sponsored, okay? This is just me sharing my air fryer that I have. Okay, and this is the book it came with. That's the manual, and it also contains recipes. Yes, this is where I'm going to be getting my recipe from today. And of course, in here, what they have is beef empanadas, but which is meat pies, but I'm going to be doing chicken empanadas instead. So let's get cooking. Over here I have my grounded chicken. Yes, this is boneless chicken. You can just buy it already grounded, but I did mine myself. You're also gonna need some diced onions, and this is the yellow onions. I prefer this one for this recipe because it gives that little hint of sweetness. You can use any onion of your choice. I would make sure to put all the ingredients and measurements in the description box below. You would also need some carrots, and these are just some baby carrots that I diced up myself. You can just buy the one that's already diced. You could buy the frozen one also. It all depends on what you want. You would also need some diced potatoes, yes, and I'll just cut them up into similar cube sizes. I always like to pair these, my carrots and my potatoes. I always like to have these two whenever I'm making pies. Feel free to tweak it to your own liking. I'm also gonna add celery today. I'm not a fan of celery, believe it or not. The smell of raw celery just drives me crazy. I literally wore a mask just to cut it up. But it's really tasty in pie, so I'm going to be using some today, not a lot. You would also need some olive oil, and this is my extra virgin olive oil. You would also need some cornstarch or flour to thicken up our chicken filling. You can use whichever you have. For spices, I'm going to be using some ground black pepper. Of course, some garlic powder. I love garlic. And for a little hint of spice, I'm going to be adding some of my homemade chili powder. This is really hot, so a little goes a long way. This is optional, by the way. You can leave it out. And you would need 1 egg to make our egg wash. And you will also need some milk for the egg wash. And I will show you that later in the video. Alright, so I'm going to start with a clean pot. I'm going to add some olive oil in it. Let it heat up. And then I'm adding my chicken. Yes, add the chicken. By the way, you can choose to do the reverse. Some people like to steam the chicken breast first, or the boneless chicken first, and then blend it to make it finer. I was going for more of a textured pie feeling, more like a chunky filling, so I decided to just do it this way, and it's quicker too, but feel free to cook it first and then shred it. It's going to be a lot finer than this. Now that my chicken has been cooking, I'm going to add my carrots to it because carrots take a little longer to cook, and just keep stirring it. At this point, we're doing more of stir frying on medium heat. I'm also going to add in my onions now. Next, I will be adding the potatoes because I didn't want them to get overcooked and get all mushy in there. So yes, this is the perfect time to add it, and just keep cooking it. Yes guys, this is very quick and easy, and my kids absolutely love it. They do not eat beef, so chicken is a good alternative for them. Alright, so as you can see, our chicken is bringing out its own broth, which is exactly what we want. And I'm going to go ahead and season it up with my Knorr chicken seasoning. Yes, you can just simply add salt to your own taste. At this point, I'm also going to season it with some garlic powder and also some black pepper. And then I'm going to add a little bit, just a little bit of the hot chili pepper. Like I said, this is mainly for the kids, so I'm only adding a little. Alright, keep stirring it, keep stir frying it. Make sure that all your seasoning is on point. You don't really need a lot of seasoning for this. And guys, you can see that a lot of the broth has evaporated. The chicken is pretty much done at this point, and I like to add my celery at this point. That way I preserve a lot of that taste in it. Yes, I'm not a fan of celery, but I do not mind it in in pies. I'm also gonna add a little hint of rosemary. This is more like half a teaspoon, maybe less than that, of rosemary. You can feel free to omit that. And as you can see, the chicken is almost frying up, looking good. Now it's time to make a thickener for our chicken filling, and I'm just using 2 tablespoons of the cornstarch, and I'm just gonna add some water to it to dissolve it. You can add as much water as you want, depending on how moist you want your filling to be, but you definitely do not want it runny. Yes, so make sure that just whisk it around. Make sure there are no lumps in there because you do not want to eat pockets of starch in your filling. Yes, so we're gonna mix that up and add it to the chicken filling that we're making, and you're gonna notice that it's gonna give it that instant thickness. Yes, I needed to add more water because it was a little too thick for me, so adjust it to your own preference. Yes guys, and this is it. It's all done. Look at that. Oh my god, it took a lot for me to stop eating this. I picked up a lot of the chicken even before I could make the pie. It was so tasty, simple ingredients, not too many spices, just not overpowering. It was just perfect, and just look at that. It's so moist, and this will keep your pie from not drying up when you eventually make it. I hope you guys are enjoying this recipe. If you're still watching, please just give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. So now that the filling is all done, you have to let it cool down completely before we move on to the next step. It is really important. And Mansa team, you already know how we do it down here. I need to clean as I go to keep my sanity. So yes, I'm doing a little cleaning while my filling is cooling down, and then we will move on to the next step. Yes, guys. And okay, here we go. I'm ready to move on. This is the air fryer, like I showed you guys in the beginning, and it's very simple to use. I would have to say that I kind of tweaked the recipe a little, and I will let you know as we go. This is the basket. This is the air fryer basket. This is where you would put whatever you're cooking, and you really don't need any oil, and even when you do, you can just spray some cooking oil on it. That's all you need to do. And you can always change the settings. Yes, You can always change the temperature. You can change your cooking time. The default is always the French fries, which is 400 degrees, but that is a little high, which is what they actually recommended for this particular recipe. But from experience, I do not recommend that. Do not cook at 400 degrees. Do not cook your empanadas at 400 degrees in the air fryer. Use 350 degrees instead. I had to learn that the hard way. Okay, we're getting ready to wrap up our pies, and first we have to make our egg wash. So I'm just gonna beat up one egg. Yes, just beat up the egg and add some milk to it. Yes, this is gonna make the perfect egg wash, and it will also keep the pies from drying up too much. Yes guys, so this is a filling. It has cooled down completely, which is important, and now we are ready to wrap up these babies. And this is what the empanada crust looks like. This is the ready-made crust. Feel free to use your own. This is the store-bought empanada crust. So what you're gonna do is the same steps as when you're making a meat pie. So you put your filling in the middle. Make sure not to put too much because you're gonna struggle with closing it, and you do not want your pie to open up while you're frying it. Okay, so yes, I'm gonna use some of that egg wash and lightly brush around the edges, around the perimeter of the pie crust, and then you're just gonna flip it over into like a semicircle. Yes, and while you're doing that, try to keep the filling in the middle and just use your fingers to press it down to seal it. Yes, to make it even more pretty, we're going to press it down with a fork. This will give you that beautiful look, and it would seal your pie completely, and you would be assured of the pie not opening up while cooking. This is it. It is so simple. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply the egg wash over it. This will give it the glossy look as I talked about, and also keep it from drying up too much while cooking, because remember, we're air frying it. We're not deep frying this. And voila, this is it. It is done. You are ready to set it on a tray, and just keep repeating the same process until your filling is done. And yes guys, I am ready to start air frying the first batch because you cannot put a lot at a time. So yes, this is it, and I've set the temperature at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I put in 12 minutes because I needed to preheat for 2 minutes. Now that it's done preheating, I'm gonna take my olive oil cooking spray and spray it lightly into the bottom of the basket. This is to give the bottom part of the pie to keep it crispy as well. All right, and now what you're going to do is just place the pies. Do not place them on top of each other. This is a 7-quart air fryer, but the empanada shells are so big, so I only could fit 3 at a time. Okay, if you're using smaller crust, you can go with more. And I just lightly sprayed olive oil on the top to keep it from drying up as well. Now you can air fry it for 10 minutes at 350 degrees. And guys, this is 10 minutes later and our babies are out. Let us look at what they're looking like. Oh my God, look at that. Can you believe I did not deep fry that? You guys, this recipe is a must try. If you are a fan of pies, of meat pies, you know, it's a very typical African snack. Meat pies, chicken pies, empanadas, and you have an air fryer, please give it a try. It is really healthy. It's less calories because we are not deep frying. Yes, it is a must try. As you can see, it looks so crispy. The golden brown, the cooking time is just perfect. So you cannot use 400 degrees. If you use 400 degrees as instructed in the manual, it's gonna come out dry and burnt. Yes, so 350 degrees for 10 minutes is perfect. Take it from Mansa Queen. And this is what our pie looks like. Yes, guys, this was so tasty, so delicious. And I'm gonna open up one so you guys can also see what it looks like on the inside. But yeah, this is how I played it up for you guys. It is so gorgeous. This would be the perfect snack for the holidays or just entertaining at home. I made it for the kids and they loved it. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and I will grab one of them and just open it up so we can see what it looks like. As you can see, you can already tell that it's really crispy, and I like those bubbly stuff on the crust. That's an illusion that it's crispy. I too like food, y'all. Yes, guys. And moment of truth, this is it. And you know I'm gonna be the taste tester. Come on now, I'm your favorite taste tester. Let's taste this together. And this is what it looks like. Can you see how moist it is? Can you still see how moist it is despite the fact that it's been frying for a good 10 minutes? It's still moist, it's crunchy. And that was my bite, and I can swear and vouch that it was tasty. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I will see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe. I love you all. Bye.